Don't make any changes to your financial picture without talking to your lender first. That's the subject of this video. So what are we talking about here? When you start your mortgage application, it's really like a snapshot. It's a snapshot of your financial situation, all of your finances at one time. So most of the mortgage process is spent with the lender verifying all the stuff that you put on your application. How much money do you have in the bank? What is your income? How much credit do you have? Those types of things. So when you make big changes in the middle of that process, in some cases, it might derail your eligibility for a mortgage, but in a lot of cases, while it may not knock you off track, it might be a situation that's going to create more work and more documentation for you. So you always want to talk to your lender first. So let me give you a few examples. Number one, any kind of large deposits. I have another video about that, about what's the big deal about large deposits. Your lender wants to make sure if you're depositing money, where did that money come from? Are you getting those funds from an ineligible source? Did you borrow that money, which could have a huge impact on your ability to qualify. So that's number one. If you're going to be depositing any money, you want to talk to your lender first and let them guide you how to make that deposit. So for instance, gift funds. I'm not sure if I have a video on this or not yet, but on gift funds, if you receive the gift funds, you go ahead and deposit those gift funds before the closing, then depending on the program, in many cases, you're going to have to trace where that money came from to get to your account. You might have to have a copy of the donor's bank statement, which you're introducing them into this process now. Whereas typically it's better to just let the gift donor give you the money at closing, and that way that saves you all that extra documentation. Credit stuff is another one. I know that I have another video where we talk about the do's and don'ts, and you don't want to have anybody pull your credit. You don't want to get any new loans while you're going through the process, because obviously if you get a new loan that your lender didn't know about, well, that's going to impact your debt ratio and could affect your ability to qualify. So you don't want to do any of that stuff. Let's even take a situation where maybe you have an auto loan that you need to pay off in order to qualify for your mortgage. Well, it makes total sense that you would want to go ahead. Let's say you've got the money to pay it off, you want to go ahead and pay that off, get it off the credit. Well, it's going to be much, much better for you to pay that off at closing. Do everything at one fell swoop. Why is that? Because if you pay the loan off now, again, the lender has got to trace that money. The lender's got to look at the money you used to pay off this loan. Where did it come from? Was it in your account already? Okay, if it was in your account, then that money has to be tracked from your account to the creditor that you're paying off. It's got to be verified that the payoff was received, the loan actually was paid off, and you're typically going to have to receive some documentation from that creditor saying, yes, this loan has been paid in full, and now it's got a zero balance. So you can see this is creating a lot of extra documentation, whereas you could just bring that money to closing and all that will be paid off at closing, and you don't have to worry about any of this extra documentation. So you don't really need to remember all that. The main thing about this video is just remember, you want to keep everything the way it is as much as you can when you filled out your application. Keep everything just like it is on your application as much as is possible, because kind of going off track with any of that stuff can create extra work for you at the least, or it might cause you issues down the road with your eligibility. Worst case scenario. If you have any specific questions about this, please feel free to reach out to me and I'll be glad to help. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.